Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, hear why the state treasurer opposes the governor's idea to increase the use of land trust funds for education. And we'll visit with the author of a new book on the history of flowers. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The Arizona Coyotes and the city of Glendale have reached a deal to keep the hockey team in Glendale for at least the next 2 years. The agreement cuts the management fee that the city will pay the team from $15 million a year down to $6.5 million. In exchange, though, the Coyotes will no longer share revenue from ticket surcharges, parking, and arena naming rights. The deal follows the city's move to terminate its lease agreement with the Coyotes, followed by the team getting a temporary restraining order to reinstate the agreement. Glendale City Council will vote on the new deal tomorrow. State Treasurer Jeff DeWitt is charged with managing the state's finances, and part of what he manages is a state trust land fund for education. DeWitt has criticized the governor's plan to provide money for education with cash from the reserve. Here now to explain his concerns is State Treasurer Jeff DeWitt. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Ted.
Let's define terms here. What is the State Land Trust?
So the State Land Trust was established when Arizona became a state, and so it's over a 100-year-old trust. And what happened is, through the Enabling Act, when we became a state, land was designated for education. And so this money is meant to benefit education forever, in perpetuity. And so the trust was set up that as we sell these parcels of land, the money would then move into this trust, which we would then grow through prudent management, and then basically expend some of the interest to go and benefit the education of our children.
And that's the operative phrase, using the interest to benefit education.
Correct. And that's the most important thing is I fully support the concept of getting more money into education, and I fully support that we can do more from this trust. So we can expend more than the 2.5% we're doing right now. But there's a limit to how much we can do that's not only reasonable and prudent, but that's legal. And that's where this plan runs into the trouble, is it's going to 10% is too much for what we can do, in essence, legally.
Let's talk about the legality of that in a second. But first of all, just the idea of dipping into the principle of a trust. A lot of folks just have a general problem with that. Yeah. Are you against the dipping into it or the numbers that are being dipped?
Well, again, my job is the guardian of the trust. It's one of the terms they use for the treasurer. And so I'm charged with protecting this trust. And the most important thing to remember is it's not a savings account. It's not an investment account. And it's not just a bank account that we can go and use whenever we want. And most importantly, it's not an emergency fund for when we just need more money. This is meant to be a steady and even distribution that the schools get forever. And so it is in a trust. And the most important thing on that is we cannot spend principal, which is called corpus in this. We cannot spend the principal. We can only expend the interest.
So the governor's plan is 10% for 5 years, then cutting it back to 5% for the next 5 years, and then cutting it off completely.
Correct.
Okay? So right now it's at 2.5%. So if
Right.
he wants to jump it up to 10 for 5, then down to 5 for 5, and then back to, I would imagine, to 2.5%. Who knows what happens after 10 years? Are you against the current 2.5 annual rate?
Yeah, like I said, we can take that up by about 50%, and I think everybody would be on board. I could support that. We can go to 3.75%. It still keeps us within legal parameters, it still keeps it prudent and reasonable, and it gets 50% more money into our schools. Don't forget, though, this isn't the main funding source for schools. I think a lot of people are confused. They think this is where education comes from. The main funding source is from the legislature, and as the Constitution prescribes, through taxation.
Right.
And so this is just a supplement. And even at this, it's going to provide an extra 3% a year for schools for 5 years. It's not really a big number. What we would do in how much of the principal we would destroy in order to do this would be a short-term gain with a lot of long-term pain associated for our schools after this plan runs out.
Are you sure, though, that 10% for 5 years, then down to 5%, are you sure principal will be touched?
By any math we run, principal is touched. And even by the governor's own numbers, principal is touched. So the argument they're using is they're saying, well, in 10 years, you'll have more money than you have right now. But that doesn't mean principal isn't touched. They're just saying you'll have a higher number. That's the equivalent if I go to you and I say, Ted, you have $100 in your pocket. Give me 40 of those dollars. But here's the great news. You won't need these $40 Because with the 60 you have left, if you invest those wisely over the next 10 years, you'll have $102 left. And so you'll have more money then in 10 years than you have now. You'll never miss this $40 I'm going to take from you.
And what you're saying is the trust is charged with taking the full $100 and getting the 100 and X, Y, and Z as opposed to the 102.
Exactly. And that's what we've been pointing out is, look, if you leave all $100 in there, you're going to have $145. And that's what we're saying is, so you have this 2.2 he's going to take out, cost us $3.7 billion when you add the interest and everything against to that time. And again, with a trust in perpetuity, you have to look in the long term. Over the next 100 years, this cost us $87 billion is what it's going to cost our schools.
I know we have some graphics here regarding what's going to happen in this 40 or 50 years,
yeah.
And it shows that obviously if you dip enough into that principal in 40 or 50 years, as we're seeing right now, things start going to the bottom of the ledger.
Yeah, and what that shows is the front end of that shows here's the extra money you're going to get right now, but now look what happens when that runs out. You get less and less and less money forever because you've taken this little amount up front. So basically, again, it's as we said in our office, it's a short-term Band-Aid that leaves a long-term scar on our education system.
And even further out there, I think you went to 100 years as well, and it's even a bigger drop there, obviously, because of the principal being removed.
Yeah, and that plays in with the law of compounding interest, which Albert Einstein says is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn it, and those who don't pay it.
Yes, and you mentioned earlier the legality. I still want to get to that, but you also mentioned a fiscal cliff when we were talking earlier.
Right.
And we have a graphic on that as well. What is the fiscal cliff that you are so concerned about?
Well, what this does, if this plan were adopted, if you see it on the screen, is you add this to the 0.6% sales tax, and they both would cut off at the same time. And so what we're doing is setting ourselves up for, in 7 years, an almost $1 billion hole in the budget of our schools. And one of the reasons I ran for office, I'm not from the political world. I've never run for office before. I'm 23 years in finance. But one of the things that frustrated me was when our politicians would make these short-term decisions just based around, say, when they were in office, and then later we're left holding the bag. And I want to see us make sustainable, long-term decisions. We have so many smart people down there. Let's just make something that works forever, and let's fix the problem once and for all.
Is it fair to criticize this idea when the fiscal cliff that you're concerned about involves a tax that would go away that has nothing to do with this idea?
Well, the funny thing about that is the reason the current formula actually has a sunset date in it that matches the 0.6% is because the schools intended on purpose for these both to be addressed at the same time. The schools basically said when we made the 2012 change that the only way they're going to allow another change is if we readdress what's going to happen with that, because how important that was to them. So I don't think we can get around the fact, and that's kind of why I'm pointing it out, is when this gets to the legislature, the schools and the teachers and everyone else, they're going to want this addressed. And so we might as well make it part of the conversation now because it's going to have to be.
And this entire conversation could be secondary to the fact that what you're saying is because this is a trust enabled by the Enabling Act, it's not even legal to do what the governor wants to do.
Right. You can't touch principle. You can't go. It's completely a non-prudent thing to do. And that's why, as trustee, my job is just put the word out there saying, look, we have to reevaluate the numbers. It's, I'm trying to get away from the policy, and I'm not arguing with the governor. I'm just opposing a plan. And what I'm trying to say is we need to get some math people in the room because the math doesn't add up. And so we have to adjust these numbers because this won't fly based on the current math.
Based on the current math, but you're also saying based on current courts. I mean,
right.
you're saying that because, now what if the legislature refers it to the voters?
Right.
Voters say, we love this idea, pass it overwhelmingly. You're saying doesn't matter?
Right. The reason, how about this? The reason we have $5 billion, this wasn't the first time that a politician, someone in the Capitol has seen a big pot of money and said, ooh, I'm going to go get that pot of money. That's what politicians do, right? They see money and they say, hey, I can spend that. And that's this plan. Well, we found some money. Let's go spend it. So this hasn't been the first time. But this is why it's in a trust and why it is in a protected fashion is to keep governors and legislatures, our elected officials, from spending this money so it's not gone. And if you look at our neighbor to the east, New Mexico, they have over $15 billion in their trust fund. So this is meant to get much bigger, and they expend over $500 million a year for the benefit of their schools from that. That's what we're going to get to, and then we just have to keep doing what we're doing with this trust.
And yet the bottom line is the schools would get more money. They'd have certainty for 10 years, according to the governor. These are his talking points now.
Right.
They get certainty for 10 years. They get more money. There's no way he's not going to support a tax increase. The folks at the legislature, they're not going to support a tax increase, which means this additional money, and emphasis on the word additional, if you say no to it, then you say no to all that money going to education.
Well, again, it's really not a large amount. You're talking about $300 per student for the next 5 years. And so it's not even an amount that's going to solve what many say are the amounts needed. And that's why you've seen a lot of opposition to this plan has been, even to the governor, saying, this is nothing, this is a drop in the bucket. Why would you blow up the trust for such a drop in the bucket when we have to do such more of a structural long-term fix to really get to the bottom of the problem?
Last point, for those who say considering the need, this is a prudent trustee action, you say?
No, it's not prudent at all. And I say, show me any other trust in the country that is paying out 10%. Try to find one. We have been clearly unable to find anything close to that. So if it's prudent, show me one other that does it. And part of being prudent is being equitable to all beneficiaries. And so we have to examine that the beneficiaries aren't just the students of the next 5 years. They're the students of the 5 after that, and the 5 after that, and the 5 after that. Why would we say that the next 5-year students are more important than any other? And if your kid is entering kindergarten or even in elementary school right now, they're not going to benefit from this. Only the kids leaving high school are going to benefit. And what they're going to see, the ones in elementary school now, is $1 billion hole before they leave school. Why would we want to do that to our schools?
And real quickly, I heard you use the phrase blow up the trust. You don't mean that. I mean, you mean impacting it. It ain't going to blow it up.
No, but it could, depending on market conditions. I mean, we could see the value of the trust get cut in half. And then where are we? And then forever distribute half as much to schools as it otherwise would. So it's just not a prudent thing to do. And I just want to re-examine the numbers. I really think if we sit down, rework the numbers, we can get to something that works over the long term.
State Treasurer Jeff DeWitt, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Ted.
University of Arizona biology professor Stephen Buckman has written a new book titled The Reason for Flowers. It's a look at the history of flowers, exploring and explaining their beauty, ecology, mythology, and economics. Here now is Stephen Buckman. Thank you for joining us. Good to have you here.
Yeah, glad to be here.
What is the reason for flowers?
Well, in one word, it's sex. But flowers are living billboards. When you think of their petals, you think of the scents, their colors, their myriad shapes. They're living billboards that are basically advertising for sexual favors from bees, flies, beetles, moths, and sometimes even us.
It really is the birds and the bees, isn't it?
It is.
I have noticed reading your book, especially in the early parts, I mean, it's all about reproduction. I mean, it's nonstop out there.
It is.
they just never quit. This book, it's an interesting read. I mean, it gets a little technical at times if you haven't had a biology class in a while, but it's out there. There's poetry. It's really very nicely done. Who'd you write the book for?
I tried to write it for a general audience, but I think an audience that might include cooks, artists, naturalists. I mean, as you mentioned, I bring up flowers, how they've inspired poets, and I mean, you know, sonnets of Shakespeare. You can find flowers in literature throughout the ages.
And as far as your love affair with flowers, how did it get started as a kid, didn't it?
It really did. By about the 3rd grade, I think I knew I wanted to be an entomologist. And in high school, I started chasing bees. And bees have really been my passion, native bees and honeybees, and so they've taken me around the world. And I consider myself a pollination ecologist, so what I do is figure out what goes to flowers, what color they are, what fragrance, what kind of nectar they might have, and so that really dictates what type of visitor, and more importantly, not just a visitor, but what type of pollinator will visit the flowers.
Are you surprised that so few people know anything about flowers? We look at them, we see them,
Right.
we smell them, we point at
Yeah.
them, but we don't really know. But pistils and stamens, I mean, those are words from, you know,
Right,
junior
that's
high biology.
school botany
Yeah.
or college, you
Yeah.
know, botany 101. Yeah, I think flowers touch everyone's lives. I mean, we use them to decorate our homes and offices. We wear them in the form of expensive blended perfumes, which are florally derived. At least a lot of them were, well, a lot of them are still. So we cook with them, we decorate with them, we're inspired by them. I like to think that our hominid ancestors 3, 4, 5 million years ago, that flowers were harbingers of food, fruits, berries, and other seeds that were collected. So I think that probably early hominids went and found flowers, and then, yeah, I'll come back in 3 weeks and harvest the fruit. And I really, one point I make in the book is that I think that we would not exist as a species were it not for the evolution of the world's 300,000 flowers about 130 million years ago.
Interesting. We also take pictures of flowers, and you
Yes.
have taken a number of photographs, and it's obviously sounds like it's a hobby because these are beautiful photographs.
Oh, thank you. It is a serious addiction.
Yeah, yeah. But when you take photos of these flowers, and when we look at these things, I mean, there's so much going on there when you look at a flower.
Right. The one on the monitor right now is a cactus flower.
And that looks like, I mean, what are we looking at? We're looking at...
You're looking at dozens of petals, and then that kind of shaving brush are the male parts, the anthers that contain the pollen, and then in the center you see the white lobes of the stigmas. So pollination is nothing more, nothing less than wind, water, or a pollinator moving pollen from the male parts of the flower to the female. And then if everything goes right, that flower is fertilized and then will develop into a fruit. So that big luscious red apple you have in the fruit bowl on your table, you know, started out as a little apple blossom, and then the ovary at the base of the flower swelled, and then you're eating that.
Has our appreciation for flowers changed over time?
It's kind of ebbed. I think we're undergoing kind of a renaissance right now, where people are buying exotic blooms, and you can not just go for a hike and appreciate wildflowers, but you can go to a florist shop or a flower boutique and find things that, you know, were simply not available even a few decades ago.
And as far as the economic impact, I mean, we're talking a global industry here, aren't we?
Oh yeah, many billions of dollars.
And is that going to change over time, do you think?
It's growing by about 6% a year. Right now it's about 15 billion stems. For the U.S., 4 billion. So that equates to about, we end up purchasing about 10 million flowers every day.
Yeah.
And on a global scale, we're about number 40. Actually, Switzerland is the #1 country in the world for per capita expenditures on flowers. So,
Isn't that interesting?
yeah, we've got a ways to go.
Okay, so this may sound like a dumb question, but flowers make us happy. They lift our spirits. Why?
Psychologists are still exploring it. There's a scientist at Rutgers, Jeanette Haviland-Jones, who's done some interesting things. She's found that even at very low concentrations in the air, flowers make us think more joyful thoughts. And if you give someone a flower, the first thing they do is literally, whether it has a scent or not, bring it up to their face, smell it, and they smile. They flash a big toothy grin. So that's a genuine smile. We're also finding that flowers might improve our long-term memory.
Interesting.
But they do have, you know, not just evoking pleasure, but imparting true health healthful benefits.
So with that, last question, what do you want people to take from this book?
I would like them to come away with an even greater appreciation for flowers, maybe to use them a little more, to give them a little more freely, maybe to go home and plant a flower garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, or appreciate our incredible Arizona wildflowers.
Boy, no kidding. Well, it's a great book. Congratulations on the book, and thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been great.
Get the inside scoop on what's happening at Arizona PBS. Become an 8 Insider. You'll receive weekly updates on the most anticipated upcoming programs and events. Get the 8 Insider delivered to your email inbox. Visit azpbs.org to sign up today.
Tonight's edition of Arizona Art Beat focuses on Lisa Sette. She's been a fixture in the Arizona art scene for decades, and she's just completed a major move from one part of town to the other. Producer Shauna Fisher has the story.
Mingling with guests at her Scottsdale gallery is bittersweet for Lisa Sette. After 29 years in the same place, she's moving on to Midtown Phoenix.
Oh, it's probably equal parts excitement and nostalgia and a little bit terrified, but I'm ready to move forward, so it's good.
Sette is well respected and well known throughout the art community, both here and abroad. In addition to her gallery, she also assists corporations in creating art collections.
You know, you do things for your own sort of purposes and goals, and mine is to sort of keep learning and keep moving forward, and it all came about very sort of naturally and organically, so I can't say it was my goal to be here or it was my goal to be there, but it happened and it feels right, and I'm excited, so we're going to do it.
Sette says she was nervous that some of her patrons wouldn't make the drive to the new gallery, but her longtime friend Gretchen Williams says Sette is as much of a draw as the artwork.
Well, I think it's Lisa, first and foremost, and it's the work that she curates, and her reputation, her integrity, the exciting work that she shows here is unlike anything else that's shown in this area. I think people have come to expect very high quality from Lisa, and then she delivers it.
Carrie Merrill had the honor of being the last artist featured in the gallery on Marshall Way. Her exhibition, Domesticity, focuses on daily tasks as a mother and how they affect her life.
Being the last artist in the gallery at Lisa Sette is kind of monumental, especially because her gallery has been sort of this iconic place in Phoenix, not just Scottsdale, but in Phoenix. And she's a huge part of the art community, and I feel privileged to be a part of it and honored. So I'm looking forward to the new space, but I'll have fond memories definitely of this venue for sure.
Sette is now ready to create new memories in this Al Beadle designed building near 2nd Street in Thomas. She first looked at it more than a year ago when it was an office space. While she wasn't looking for a new project, the pull it had on her was undeniable.
The space is so different, and how we use the space is different too. It's much more customized to our needs, and that's probably the most fantastic part.
Sette and her architect didn't want to overstep Beadle's vision for the building, but they did have to make some major changes, including wrapping the subterranean building in a scrim-like fabric to keep out the intense Arizona sunshine. One feature they did keep was the unusual entrance Beadle created.
He basically talked about how you have to enter, climb down the stairs, enter, and then come up into the space, and he talked about leaving the mundane world behind. So you're sort of leaving everything stressful behind you and entering this very serene, kind of space.
Sette says the new gallery space dictates the type of collection she will feature. In her storage room, she has countless works of art that she can't wait to display. The first solo artist in the new gallery is Luis Gonzalez Palma. Originally from Guatemala, Palma's photographs depict the often tumultuous cycle of life and death. The exhibition is bold and unrelenting and fits perfectly in the simple space. A few months into her next chapter, and Sette is feeling more at home. She's looking forward to celebrating her 30th anniversary as a gallery owner and is reminded of why she got into the art business in the first place, the art itself.
I mean, everybody sees it differently, but I think everybody learns something from it, and that's the reason that I'm in it. This is my continuing education. It's a little bit selfish, but it's how I learn about the world.
And you can find out more about the gallery at lisasettegallery.com. Friday on Arizona Horizon, it's the Journalists Roundtable. We'll have much more on the new agreement between the city of Glendale and the Arizona Coyotes. And we'll have the latest on an investigation into a corporation commissioner's cell phone records. That's at 5:30 and 10 on the Journalists Roundtable. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.